let's go to page 75 and let's go to number 19. Here you have absolute value of x plus 5 minus 3 equal to 1. So with the absolute value equations, you need to isolate the absolute value. So you need to get rid of all the stuff outside. So this is minus 3, so you have to plus 3 on each side. So you have absolute value of x plus 5 is equal to 4. You can try to line things up. Then after that, once you isolate your absolute value, you can go and separate into two equations. So when you have equal sign, this is OR, right? So only thing that is AND is when you have an arrow pointing toward the absolute value, that's AND. Everything else is OR. Okay, so you're going to have x plus 5 equal to 4, or, okay, so this is the positive equation, everything will be the same. The negative equation is you times this by -1, so it will be x plus 5 is equal to -4. Okay, so make this opposite, make this opposite. Okay, then after that, you go and solve. So minus 5 on each side. So you got x equal to -1, or this one you minus 5 on each side. So x equal to -9. Okay, so your answer would be -1, -9. Okay, and so if you were to graph this, you got -9, -1, right? -9 is over here. So to graph, so this will equal to be just a dot and a dot. Okay, so that would be the graph. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, number 21 here, absolute value of 2u minus 1, absolute value plus 3 is less than or equal to 6. Okay, so you have to isolate the absolute value, so you have to get rid of that. So minus 3 on each side, minus 3. Okay, so your absolute value of 2u minus 1 is less than or equal to 3. So again, make sure you have the absolute value by itself before you separate. Okay, so now this is by itself, so that's going to separate. So the positive equation would be the same, so everything stays the same. For the negative equation, you have to make this opposite. So, and this is point toward absolute value, so this is AND. Okay, so you're going to get 2u minus 1 greater than or equal to -3. So again, you have to make this opposite, make this opposite. Okay, okay, now let's go and solve. So plus 1 on each side. So you got 2u is less than or equal to 4, divided by 2, divided by 2. So you got u is less than or equal to 2, and that's an AND. Okay, so don't forget your conjunction. This one you plus 1 on both sides. So you got 2u is greater than or equal to -2, divided by 2, divided by 2. So u is greater than or equal to -1. Okay, now when you graph this, you got -1 and you got 2, right? So this one is going to be this way, right? Less than or equal to 2. This one is going to be greater than or equal to -1. Okay, so this one is this one. This is this graph. Now you have to apply the conjunction AND. So you have to be in this and this. So the part that is in both, in here and in here, is this part over here. Okay, so again, AND means how to be in here and how to be in here. So only part that's good is this part. Okay, so once you get your final graph, then you can write your answer based on your final graph. And again, just line up, so it will be -1 is less than or equal to u is less than or equal to 2. Okay, and that would be your final answer. So make sure you graph it out to see what is your final graph and final answer would be. Okay, okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, you got 7 minus 3, absolute value of 4d minus 7, absolute value greater than or equal to 4. Okay, so again, remember, you have to isolate your absolute value, right? So you have to get rid of all the stuff outside. So first is minus 7 to get rid of that. Normally, you get rid of the stuff farther away. Work from the farthest away and work toward that, okay? So minus 7 on both sides and line up everything. Okay, so this will be minus 3. Then you have to get rid of that. Now this is the multiplication. So undo multiplication, you have to divide. Okay, so this will cancel out. So you get absolute value of 4d minus 7 is greater. When you divide by negative number, you have to change direction. So remember that. It becomes less than or equal to 1. Okay, now we can go and separate. So you got 4d minus 7 is less than or equal to 1, and 4d minus 7 is greater or equal to negative 1. Okay? So again, the positive equation stay the same, and then the negative equation is opposite. Okay? Okay, so now let's go ahead and solve this. So plus 7. So you got 4d is less than or equal to 8. Divide by 4, divide by 4. So d is less than or equal to 2, and that's an end. Okay? Over here, you plus 7 on both sides. So you got 4d is greater than or equal to 6. Divide by 4, divide by 4. So d is greater than or equal to 3 over 2. Okay, and again, let's go and sketch it out. Now, 3 over 2 is 1.5. So this is bigger number, so it'll be 3 over 2 and 2, right? So d is less than or equal to 2. So that is this graph over here. So this is this. And d is greater than or equal to 3 over 2. So that is this one here. Okay? Now you have to apply the word and. So you have to be in here and have to be in here. So only part that is in here and in here is this middle region right over here. Okay? This is the only part that is in here and in here. And so your answer would be 3 over 2 is less than or equal to d less than or equal to 2. Right? Again, this 3 over 2 is this point, 2 is this point. D is all this infinite number of points in between. Okay? And that would be the answer for number 23. Okay? Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, you have 4 plus 2 absolute value of 3t minus 5 over 2, absolute value greater than 5. Okay, so again, first, let's get rid of this number. So minus 4 on both sides. So you got 2 absolute value of 3t minus 5 over 2 is greater than or equal to 1. Then have to get rid of that, so divide by 2, divide by 2. Okay, so this will cancel out. So your absolute value of 3t minus 5 over 2 is greater than 1/2. So now absolute value is by itself. Now you're ready to go ahead and separate. Okay, so you got 3t minus 5 over 2 is greater than 1/2. Now this is pointing away, so it's or. Okay, and you got 3t minus 5 over 2. Okay, and you have to make this side opposite, right? So we're going this direction and negative 1/2. Okay, so you keep this and everything else become opposite. Okay, so now let's go and solve. So this is a fraction, so I'm going to multiply both sides by 2. So that this will cancel with this will cancel with that. So you got 3t minus 5 is greater than 1. So plus 5, next. So you got 3t is greater than 6, divide by 3, divide by 3. So you got t is greater than 2. Okay, and follow through with your or. This one is same thing, okay, on the negative equation. Multiply by 2 to get rid of the fraction. So you got 3t minus 5 is less than negative 1. So plus 5. So you got 3t is less than 4. And divide by 3, divide by 3. So you got t is less than 4 over 3. Okay? Now let's go ahead and graph it out. Let's see if, because sometimes this may not be the final answer. Sometimes the answer will change. Okay, it depends on how these things all work it out. Okay, so you got 4 over 3 and 2. So this one is less than, so going this way. This is greater than, it's go this way. Or means it can be here, all are good. So in this case, nothing changed, so your answer stay the same. Okay, so your answer will be just that. Okay, so you can just write it again. So again, sometimes the answer may change, sometimes stay the same. Okay, so that's why you always have to graph it out and check. Okay, let's go to the next one. So you got 7 plus 5 absolute value of C is less than or equal to 1 minus 3 absolute value of C. Okay, so notice you got absolute value here and absolute value of here. So let's go and combine let's go and consolidate the absolute value first. So go and plus 3 absolute value of C. Okay, so that this will cancel out. So you got 7 plus 8 absolute value of C is less than or equal to 1. Okay, now let's go and get rid of this number. So minus 7. Minus 7. So you got 8 absolute value of C is less than or equal to negative 6. Okay, and then you divide by 8. Divide by 8, you want to isolate the absolute value, right? So you got absolute value of C is less than or equal to negative 3 over 4. So right away over here you can see that it's going to be empty set, okay? Because absolute value means positive number. So positive number is less than or equal to negative 3 over 4. That's impossible, right? Again, absolute value means positive number. So what you're saying is that positive number is less than or equal to negative number. So again, this would be empty set right away. Okay? But again, if you don't see that, you can go and separate and graph it out. So you got C is less than or equal to negative 3 over 4, and C is greater than or equal to 3 over 4. Okay? And then if you graph it out, you got negative 3 over 4 and 3 over 4. Okay, so this one is going this way, and this one is going this way. Okay, and now you have to apply the word and. Okay, so and means have to be here and have to be here at the same time. In this case, nothing, right? They don't overlap. So again, in this case, your answer is empty set, because so that means none of the number is going to work. Okay, so that's an empty set for this problem.